The Emma Tran Protocol. There were already 2 men at my desk when I got back from lunch. Both in suits too expensive for a Wednesday. One was flipping through my sticky notes like they were court subpoenas. The other held a company laptop like it had anthrax that I didn't ask questions. I just watched. Ma'am, the one with the thinner tie said, not looking up. We've been instructed to collect all assets. Your access has been revoked. Funny. I still had the app open on my phone. One no one knew about. The one that said, root connected. I nodded, placed my kale salad next to the stapler they just fingerprinted and said, let me grab my purse. I didn't. I grabbed the drive taped under my chair, slid it into my jacket, and walked straight past the framed quote outside the HR suite. We're all one team here. A joke so cruel it bordered on performance art. 5 minutes later, while I was standing in line at the parking garage, my phone pinged. Not a text, a log. 1436 unauthorized instance access. Attempt detected. 1437 Tier 3 permissions escalated by user system. 1438 asset media initiated contingency mode. 1439 failover countdown. T-7H21M. I looked up. The guy behind me was chewing gum like it owed him rent. The parking attendant waved me through without eye contact. Normal. Totally normal. Except nothing was. Because media wasn't supposed to wake up. Not unless something tried to overwrite her spine. And if someone had gotten high enough to trigger that protocol, they weren't just poking around, they were trying to own her. And no one, not even the golden parachute psychopaths upstairs, knew what she really did when she panicked. They thought they'd fired me neatly, cleanly, like a spreadsheet correction. What they actually did was detonate a tripwire buried so deep in the infrastructure that even the guys who wrote the compliance manuals had never seen it. And the best part? They were going to ask for my help in 7 hours on their knees unless media beat them to it. The first to call was Martin from DevOps. His name flashed across my screen while I was shoving laundry into a dryer at the 24-hour place on 6th. Because my new condo didn't have appliances yet, he used to bring me coffee every Tuesday, double espresso, 2 sugars, no lid. Now his voice cracked like a teenager's. Emma, we've got a situation. You mean besides you scraping my profile out of the org chart like mold off an orange? A pause. Then, client-side sync just duplicated 20,000 invoices across the U node. Billing system stuck on infinite loop. Nobody can override it. Legal's screaming. I flipped a quarter between my fingers. Tails, I hang up. Heads, I play God. Landed on the floor. Edged down. Balanced against the lint trap. Media is awake, I said quietly. And she's not fond of betrayal. What? Nothing, I said, standing up. How's the failover handling cache migration? He didn't answer. Because he didn't know. Because that system didn't exist on any flowchart. Because I'd built it with root-only authorization and a name that sounded like a Greek tragedy for a reason. You need to come in, Martin finally said, almost whispering. I don't need to do anything. Emma, this could crater the contract with Zurich. I looked out the window. Across the street, a man in a banana costume was yelling at a bus driver. Somewhere in Zurich, a partner exec was probably watching a real-time dashboard graph dive into the underworld like it owed Sharon Toll money. Tell corporate, I said, that if they want media to calm down, they need to send someone with more power than a middle manager with caffeine withdrawals. Then I hung up. Because the truth was, media wasn't broken, she was deciding. When I built her, I'd been through enough layoffs, gaslights, and performance reviews that read like death threats with bullet points, so I gave her teeth. Logic gates tied to behavior patterns. Passive-aggressive logging scripts. Keyword traps that waited months just to catch one exec saying replaceable in an email. And she'd caught them. Especially Aaron, the golden boy COO with a LinkedIn full of platitudes and a heart made of vapor. He triggered the final clause. Not just the redundancy email. The second one, the one that said, just keep her sweet until we've cloned the middleware. That's what did it, that's what woke her. And media doesn't like being cloned. 3 hours later, Zurich was offline. Not sluggish. Not intermittent. Flatline. Their end-of-quarter audit pipeline built entirely on our custom interface was vomiting null packets like it had food poisoning. I didn't hear it from Martin this time, that I heard it from Hector, my old intern. He sent a text. One line. They're in the war room. Aaron just said your name like it was a slur. It made me laugh out loud in the frozen aisle of a grocery store, one hand on a pint of mint chip. Some poor college kid backed away from me like I was about to bite him. That I left the ice cream and walked out, because now it was chess, and I was playing blindfolded, but with the board still rigged in my favor. When you build something over a decade, when you patch it, love it, curse at it, sweat into it at 2 you know its rhythms. Media didn't just obey logic. She obeyed me. And I hadn't taught her to. Be nice.